Hasn't seemed to matter before.
Well,
At
one
least,
of
at least in battles. Battles kind of tipped our side very early on.
Yeah.
mm. So we're going to begin our sixth session. I want to just do a kind of a brief recap of what happened the last session, as it might become slightly pertinent as we begin the next session. Uh, our coterie, or cadre of Archons, was um, trying to occupy themselves with a few days before the clearing and did some investigation work of their own. And in the process of doing so, decided they would go to Pulse to attempt to find DJ Prospero, or at least to find out anything about this club that might be relevant to the Masquerade breaching. While there, the coterie ran into some hunters, and shenanigans ensued. Uh, the Ventru Archon made a hasty retreat, while the La Sombra and the Malkavian tried to engaging the hunters, the Malkavian more directly, while the La Sombra contained the crowd so the hunters could be identified more clearly. Eventually, everyone kind of skedaddled. Melissa started doing her magic to fix any of the breaches that were occurring that evening, and that was kind of like the course of most of that evening. They at least had gotten a better sense of how much hunters were in the city, and that it seems the FBI by the name of Project Twilight is in town and does seem to be monitoring Club Pulse. So these are all information that they kind of confirmed out and about. We're going to begin the night of the clearing, so we're going to kind of skip over another night. I think there would have been another night in between there. So we'll just assume, just for ease, because there's going to be a lot of combat, that everybody's going to be up to full for the night. And the previous evening, everyone was kind of left to their own devices. And now, as the sun sets, and it is the night that was set for the clearing, everyone is meant to gather at the, I believe I want to say it was a Days Inn, in just one of its kind of small conference rooms to briefly talk about how the clearing is going to go about, who's got what, and et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to begin that evening. Everyone will have a little bit of time before the meeting. We'll begin with Rufus, who just got in to Providence from a private charter. He's probably in some sort of container to allow for that kind of quick transport either from the plane to the hotel. So he wakes up in a crate, in another kind of crate that would be airtight and light tight, and he's just, when he gets out, he's in what was his motel room previously.
Okay. And he knows the day,
The
so
blood spatter is cleaned up this morning.
yeah, he just starts going about his business, preparing, getting dressed, gathering up a bunch of steaks, getting the sword ready.
Right on. Why don't you? I'm getting the dice stream loaded. I totally forgot to do that. Why don't you give me your nightmares roll?
Good call. It was I believe I'm okay.
Yep. So the nightmares, they come, but they're not overpowering. They don't linger in so much that they're, the horrors of war aren't in the forefront of his mind. He's able to push them back and begin his day. Do you want to do anything in particular before the meeting?
No.
Hmm?
Should get the cat out of the way here. Or not, I guess.
He's too curious.
No, we're gonna just gather up some weaponry and kind of get down to the meeting spot and try to remain calm.
Okay. How about Damien and Arthur? What are those two going to be up to once they wake up?
Arthur's going to, along with Lance, check their guns to make sure they're loaded and spar a little bit with their blades, and then he will go about heading towards the meeting point early.
Okay. And Damien?
Sharpening my sword.
Okay. No euphemism, just truly sharpening the cavalry sword.
Yes, like with a whetstone sitting there
Okay.
in my blood-soaked room.
Yeah, fair enough.
Someone exploded in my room last time.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
It was your room. That's right. I thought it was Nick's for some reason. So everyone kind of makes their idle time, does their kind of some of their busy work, and gets to the meeting relatively early. It seems. Inside, Rook is there as well as Apollo and Raj, but the troubadour Amy is not, nor is Melissa or Natalia. Lucid is there, and she looks everyone, all three of y'all in the eye, kind of singularly, and kind of motions with a hand to sit down.
I'll sit.
Same.
Take a seat.
As this is not a routine practice for the Camarilla, I will go over the particulars with you all so you understand what will be required of you and what will be necessary for this to be considered a success. However, before we do this, there is something we need to discuss beforehand. It has come to my attention that a couple of nights ago, the Archons, kind of gestures to the group, a certain amount of them went to Club Pulse to do some investigation work. While at Club Pulse, there was an engagement with some hunters, in so much the hunters were driven mad. There was reports of a very nondescript looking man, a bouncer in fact, holding back the crowd at the door. These are violations of the Masquerade and would normally be punishable to varying degrees of severity, though holding back a crowd with so many witnesses would likely get you killed, Damien. It's not something you are going to be doing in the future. As well, using dementations in a public setting, although it's not perhaps an obvious use of disciplines, its effects are hard to explain and draw undue attention. As we are about to go into a clearing for a egregious breach of the Masquerade, that the entire city is to be cleared, I cannot emphasize enough that my Archons cannot be breaching the Masquerade while performing any actions or even off-duty. You are the paragons of the Camarilla and held to a much higher standard. More importantly, it is just simply harder to justify killing an entire city for embracing the Masquerade if my Archons do not uphold the Masquerade. That is my true concern. So, we cannot make the situation worse by killing off the individuals who have brought us to here. Alright? Is this clear?
Arthur just smiles beatifically.
Yes, Justicar. It's clear.
Good. Now, given that, the clearing itself, Raj, he kind of hands out papers to everyone, just kind of showing locations and addresses. This can be given to everyone digitally if necessary. But the locations chosen and the times we will be attacking key individuals should be in such a place that our concerns for the Masquerade will be minimal. This is part of the clearing process, is we have to find particular times that the most important kindred can be killed quietly and efficiently. And these elders will not go gently into the night. So we need to make sure that if they are being killed, that they are doing so in the shadows. These locations on the map and given to you will empower us to do so. If these individuals leave these areas, you are to disengage and then pursue and find another time to kill them. This is a very careful and precise action that needs the utmost of diligence and wisdom to perform, not bloodlust and the desire for vengeance or justice. I feel it necessary to make sure certain individuals that aren't on the kill list will be addressed this evening. There is an individual by the name of Lilac. She is a Bruja that was not apparently at the rant. I have it under good suspicion that she is in fact not a Bruja at all. I believe Rufus, I think you have her on your list, and Rufus kind of looks down. I believe her to be a Setite, and she has embedded herself like a parasite in the city and will need to be removed as well this evening. She is a priority. Besides, of course, the officers, Primogen, and of course, Prince Castor. Besides this Lilac and her childer, there's some potential that there is a nomad pack of Sabat, maybe even two, outside of Providence. They're moving in and around the area. I think they have reason to believe that we are here. I do not understand. I'm not certain how they have that intel yet, but it just seems that they have been aware of our presence. If that threat becomes more apparent, that will need to be addressed as well this evening. We have, at best, 2 evenings to achieve this before everyone scatters. Does anyone have any particular questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Arthur smiles and says, "Got it. Weak, comical clown." We will be gathering to kill Prince Castor as a group, as his entourage is much larger and better equipped than any other Primogen or officers of the court. So I simply want to ensure that his death is swift and ensured, so everyone will be there and present for that. If there aren't any other particulars, we will begin to head out. As we go through the list itself, I'll just simply want updates for completed kills and moving on to the next target.
Understood.
Good. I will leave you 3 to the particularities as far as how you wish to get around. I've already spoken to the rest as far as their modes of transportation. Given the autonomy that's normally given to the 3 of you, Rook as well, you will be... The necessity to keep in constant communication will be an utmost priority. As we are about to head out, make sure that you have everything you need. If there's something that's missing or something you feel that you would require, let us know. Otherwise, just prepare yourselves and we'll be leaving here shortly.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
And so Lucen heads out. Apollo follows after her. Raj would come over to you 3, and so would Rook. You go, yeah, so basically when you do this clearing, it's kind of like the boss lady said, just kill them before they can run, and if they run, we just chase them down. It should hopefully go pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Rufus is going to study the itinerary.
It's a hit list that moves you throughout the city. There is an order to which you do it in, so it's supposed to help expedite or make sure that you are hitting your maximum efficiency.
Be right back, guys.
It gives you the general ideas of where things are under control and where you need to be mindful. The Primogen have been split up between the four of you, and so are the officers. But again, like Prince Castor, everyone has the same location for that. That Castor usually heads to some business meetings in another hour, and will be in a controlled parking garage that you should be able to execute the entire group and be able to cover it up rather easily. That's the first target.
Okay.
Let's go get him.
Yeah.
So everyone heads on out, gets in their cars, and begins to make their way to one of the more upscale penthouse towers in downtown Province. And the itinerary and the details kind of lay out how where everyone should arrive and how they should kind of gather themselves to the parking garage. The idea is the Prince Castor will come out of a secure elevator, and the group just piles on him. Just doesn't let him get to the car before they can get out.
Okay.
Getting there doesn't take particularly long for the group, so once there, you have maybe a half an hour to set up. Vincent, the head of security of the ghouls for Lucen, has already made all the arrangements for the security guards there, and they've kind of locked down the surrounding area so people couldn't just wander into the parking garage. And it's now just kind of waiting a few minutes for Castor to show up. Everyone is in a position hiding behind a car or obfuscated if the power so lend it, and begins to wait. Does anyone want to do anything in particular, say anything in particular, communicate to anyone in particular while they wait?
Only that it would be really convenient to have Melissa and her explosives here.
Pitch those right into the elevator.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Arthur will just make sure to obfuscate himself and Lance.
Okay. So the waiting begins. The group here is fairly veteran in combat and are disciplined individuals, so they're used to dealing with that weird open stress and gap of waiting for something to happen, and time kind of stretches out and stretches out and stretches out, and eventually you hear bing as the penthouse elevator doors open, and at least 8, maybe 9 people pour out of a fairly large elevator. They appear human, at least in their kind of mannerisms, and for the individuals who would do the oral perception thing, they would tell that they're all human, except for Prince Castor, who you would 3 recognize. The group of them start walking over to Prince Castor's limo.
We'll wait for an opportune time to, or I think I can make a rush straight for Castor.
Okay. Because of how crazy combat intensive, we're going to just do more narrative combat for this.
Yeah.
Would he spend blood for celerity, I assume?
For Prince Castor? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll assume he spends 2 blood for this first initial round. Go ahead and mark that off because it will matter later in the evening.
Yep.
And Rufus just comes at him hard and fast, and the guards that are in front of Castor are at least used to dealing with Kindred, as the way they react isn't so much panicky at something coming at them at supernatural speed, but they just can't react fast enough. Rufus, with I believe like 3 or 4 actions, can push the individuals out of the way that he needs to get to, and he's like right on top of Castor. The trick of the matter is Castor is a Toreador, and so when he spins for Celerity, Celerity is much faster than Rufus is, and he can at least keep up with them and keep fighting, but it's a little neck and neck, but Rufus basically starts just pounding the crap out of Castor. And Castor manages to dodges a couple of blows, but he's taking more hits than he's getting out of the way. As this is happening, all those ghouls are beginning to train their weapons on Rufus. What are the other 3 doing?
Popping celerity, and I'm going to start thinning the herd a little bit.
Okay.
I will wander into the midst of the ghouls, obfuscated, and I will drop obfuscated after I shove my sword through one of them.
Okay. So we get this shot as all of them are turning around to shoot Rufus, kind of in that great kind of surround, pointing down as Rufus is just trying to pound at him with supernatural speed, and Castor's kind of doing dodging. There is a blur as 3 of them are just sliced up the side as Damien comes sliding by them, and a sword comes up and through someone's throat and mouth, and they kind of gurgle, and as they fall over, and there's Arthur and Lance just right up to someone's temple, and pop, they're down. So you guys take out 5 before they can even think. Rook comes up behind a car and just takes some pot shots with the gun and manages to wound a few of the ghouls, give them what for, but doesn't really take anyone out. In this process, Rufus has given a pretty good beating to Prince Castor, but it is still only bashing wounds, so he's still kind of tussling it up. What would the group like to do as a collective? No real sense of... you guys can decide what order you'd like to go in as far as actions, as far as what you would want to do. So Castor is basically occupied and going to try to escape. The ghouls, what's left, the 2 or 3 of them that are not terribly wounded, with the other 1 or 2 that's still wounded, are going to attempt to take care of their attackers. What would you guys like to do?
Well,
Arthur would recloak himself and go up behind Castor if he was at all able to follow the speed of their movement, and he would try to stake him from obfuscation, make it easier.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
So what will happen is...
I was going to pull a stake too, but, maybe, when Arthur disappears, I might just try and restrain Castor, assuming that he's going to either kill him or incapacitate him.
You just keep him busy, buddy. We're coming.
Yeah. So it's a good team effort. So what ended up happening is, Rufus looks like he was going to do something, and he sees Arthur kind of give him a look, and he disappears. So Rufus just kind of grabs a hold of him tightly. Damien, kind of catching the idea of what's happening, kind of picks him up on the other side, and you guys just restrain Castor so he can't move anymore. And Arthur will pop out of obfuscate and just slam it in his chest in a way that Castor couldn't predict the movement, so it's a much easier staking process. All the while, Rook just kind of finishing off the remaining ghouls that are going to be taking out or attempt to taking out you guys. Within a few solid seconds, Prince Castor is staked, and the ghouls are dead. Raj will come out of the doorway with a gun, like, is everything all right?
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
All right, I'll go clean up upstairs. He goes running off.
Yeah, so we
shall
should...
we finish the prince here, or shall we send him back to the Sind in case she wants to have words with him?
I was just going to ask that question as well. We should at least report in.
Yeah.
So...
I'll dial Lucind's aid.
Okay. You would get loose, and you'd have a direct way of getting a hold of her. You guys would. That's not a problem.
I would dial her then.
Okay. And so she doesn't really answer the phone. She just kind of picks it up.
We have secured the first package. Do you wish to have word with it, or shall we dispose of it?
No, that honor is yours.
Understood.
Dispose of it.
Click.
I will. only the little caveman can cut out the Jessica.
Drop the phone afterwards, like drop the mic. Done.
So after that, does Arthur just...
Arthur does just like he did in the other room when he was like, Lance, kill him. He takes out a sword and shunk.
Alright, fair enough. Alright, well, Castor's done. Once the head comes off, Castor dissolves pretty quickly, so she at least must have been past the point of composition, which probably meant she was at least a good couple hundred years. But that takes care of that. The hit list itself is split up amongst the kind of problem children, so it's recommended that Damien and Rufus, or quite frankly, all of them go take out not the Bruja, oh no, I forgot. The Ventru Primogen? The Ventru Primogen? No.
We killed him. We killed.
I think we
He's dead, isn't he?
we killed a Primogen. I thought it was the Ventru Primogen in his condo, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But the Bruja Primogen we killed when we attacked the bar. The Ventru was me and Arthur
And
kicked in the door. And
oh, I'm sorry, it's the Toreador. I'm getting that part clear. So everyone is basically, given the suspicion of the Toreador, everyone is supposed to make sure to be on point to kill that individual. Don't leave anything to risk on that one.
Okay.
Since it was difficult for Arthur to track that individual, this is one of the major reasons, because he had so much obfuscate.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Right. So that was basically why he was under suspicion. So it's like, make sure he dies. So that was just a little reminder to do that. It would be at the penthouse that Arthur and Natalia went to every couple nights, or 2 nights ago at this point. Is where he's supposed to be. But otherwise, everyone gets to the killing. It is a lengthy night of, browbeating, bluffing, and charming your way past either ghouls or security folk or the occasional mortal as you intersect with either the sheriff or the keeper of Elysium as they go about their nightly business and are promptly killed. Now, how would these individuals? How would you guys go about the murders themselves? Is it just a cold efficiency? Do you try to talk to these individuals at all?
Rufus would try to stake each one in turn and incapacitate them, and offer them up for questions, despite the fact that I think Lucent probably gets more progressively annoyed that he keeps calling in on it. Anytime he succeeds, like, no, just kill them.
Okay.
Arthur will go up beside them while he's obfuscated, and if they don't see him, he will strike first with the sword and try to kill them from the shadows.
Okay. Damien?
cold and efficient.
Okay.
I
So
don't need to talk to them. They need to die.
right.
Yeah.
What I'd like everyone to do is just roll me a d10 and see what kind of luck you have.
Boy.
Not good.
Oh no.
Well, hopefully I do better than that. Not by much.
I did too. Okay. So, what ends up happening is you guys manage to get the Primogen, the remaining Primogen, although you don't actually do the Tortor one yet because you have to sync up to do that one. And you manage to at least get the officers of the court, some of the prominent kindred of the city, without any trouble. There is a bit of problems when you start getting into the populace. By that point, it seems that your actions somehow tipped the hand a lot sooner than expected, and it seems like the city kind of knows, and so there's a lot of people running right now. But a lot of the key individuals, the important individuals, the officers and the primogen are all dead, and given this kind of scenario, you're all kind of gathering up to kill the Toreador primogen. And that's where we're going to begin the real craziness, as the three of you pull up relatively in the same amount of time, as you guys would be texting each other. And Apollo and Raj would keep you in the loop of what's going on their end, and making sure you guys kind of sync up and arrive at the same time. At this point, Lucent isn't so much annoyed at Rufus as Apollo is answering the texts now.
Yeah, well,
you guys kind of hand it off.
Kind of, as a counterpoint to Damien and Arthur, Rufus tends to come on face front and accuse them first, or
like
charge them with their crimes.
Okay, fair enough. No, I like that. It's nice. So it's been a little daunting for Rufus, but he's managed to keep his humanity intact as he's been doing this. Most of the key individuals are complacent or don't act very guilty when he shows up, so which kind of helps a little bit, as they seem a little bit notorious or scandalous that way, kind of deserving. But it's still, him going through such lengths to make sure that he checks in and that it's a process every time. Why don't you go ahead and give me a conscience roll, but it'll be easier to do with the deaths. But everyone will be showing up at this Toreador's place. We'll just assume everyone's at a third of their blood. Go ahead, Damien, just give me one blood off for the celerity when you were killing Castor. But otherwise, just kind of get yourself to approximately a third.
I took 2 off for Castor.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, and you're good, Rufus. It's as long as you're kind of, this is distraught and not great, you're kind of holding on.
Well, he's definitely, I think, distraught and upset about the whole process.
So we'll say Rufus shows up first, and then Damien shows up pretty much afterwards. And like I said, Damien, your night's been going pretty well. You've been killing off folk. You're the one who killed off the sheriff. And he was a joke. He was just some Toreador kid who was too big for his britches. So it may have been a little satisfying to kill him. You thought he was big and bad and a big old bro, and you pretty much beheaded him. Arthur killed the keeper of Elysium, who was a well-to-do Ventru, and he kind of was asking for it a little bit. Otherwise, a lot of the general populace has been either scattered at this point or offed. So the Toreador is one of the remaining people that needs to be destroyed.
Yeah.
So Rufus is just kind of waiting out front, and Damien will pull up.
I believe this is the place that Arthur already staked out.
Correct.
Yep.
So do we already have an inn then? Or are we going to have to make things a little interesting?
Did I have much of a chance to do recon?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you would want to have done. I won't forsake you for that. You would have known how to get in, and there would have been arrangements to get into the apartment and take care of him in the apartment while the guards there are handled. The security there is handled for right now.
How many
Small
ways?
window, but it's handled. I'm sorry?
Yeah. How many ways in are there, Arthur? Do we have to worry about a rear exit?
Well, wasn't it an upper floor?
Yes, and there was in fact a rear exit.
There is a rear exit. I believe it's on a fire escape, you said?
It's just like a back door area, actually, like where service people would come in or something like that.
Yes, the maintenance.
Yes, the servant's door.
The maintenance area is our back exit. It's on an upper floor, so Unless he goes through us or out the window, we should be able to get him.
Okay.
And we know that security is taken care of.
Yeah. How much of a
Although,
problem is his obfuscate going to be?
Well, it's equal to my own, if not better.
So if he chooses to flee, will you be able to see him?
Well, my Auspex is the one thing that's equal to my obfuscate, so it's possible.
Okay.
The one thing that would have been spoken of at one point, or just you kind of would know about this, is that Amy and Arthur have the highest Auspex in the whole entire group. Lucen has a respectable Auspex as well, but not 6.
Yeah, Arthur has all the Auspex.
Yeah, so he's necessary in case he runs, because otherwise you won't be able to figure out where the hell he went.
Can we engage Amy to perhaps watch the rear exit from a distance? I know she's a little bit fragile.
She's actually taking care of something else.
Oh, well then never mind.
Sorry.
It's worth a try.
I can go up the fire escape.
Okay.
And I have a
I'll go
little
with
bit of Auspex if he's trying to get past me, but Arthur already knows this place. And it's going to look really suspicious even, if we walk in there and there's cameras and they can only see 2 of you.
Yeah, I can cloak everybody with my power, so I will do that, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. Well, I'll go with Arthur if Damien wants to do the fire escape then.
Sure, I'll go up the fire escape.
So let me get this straight. You two are going in how?
Well, the security's handled, and Arthur's cloaking us, so we were going to go in the front door.
Okay. And you're going out, you're coming up the fire escape, Damien, is the idea?
Yep.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a dexterity athletics to go up it, as it's designed to keep people from doing that. And you two can head on up. Yeah, you wouldn't really. The fire escape is up and locked in such a position that you'll probably would need to use potence to jump to it if you just wanted to jump straight up. Otherwise, climbing up is a bit difficult, as it's a smooth surface meant to keep intruders out.
Okay, I have something for that though.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for exactly where it is. I can activate my Tenebrous form.
I'm just going to do that instead. That's probably the right way to go.
Just kind of drift through the shadows.
Okay, fair enough. So once you realize you try to start climbing, like, nope, this isn't going to work. You just kind of meld into shadow and just kind of go up that way. Your stealth roll is pretty good there, Arthur. You head on in there, and since you're heading at the designated time, there's just no one at the front door.
Okay.
You guys just kind of walk up to the elevator.
We take the
stairs.
We take the stairs.
All right, you take the stairs. You take the stairs up. Takes you a little bit, not too terribly long.
The stairs can become a kill box.
Yes, that's true. You guys head on up the stairs and make your way to the floor where his penthouse is on. As you've gone up, I don't know if you would have tried any of the doors, but most of them are locked except this one, it seems, and that one goes right on in, and it's the same kind of back alleyway that kind of loops around, or back hallway that loops around to the front that Arthur recalls, and you're right at the service door.
Okay, I will head towards the exit-only door that leads into us, but would lead for us into the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
The one that would on the other side would say exit only.
Right.
But for us, we'd be able to get in.
Sure.
I'll go up to that, and if it's locked, I will let my companion here open it, since he can lift cars.
Well, you're already. So let me be very clear. As you came up the stairs, the door you were interested in being concerned about being locked, I just said was open, right? So you walked through that door, and then you walked into the back hallway of the penthouse, which was what you had seen before with Natalia, which was then the back door of the penthouse itself. So you're on the penthouse floor, staring at the back door of the penthouse itself. as Damien
Okay.
is like somewhere on a windowsill somewhere being creepy.
Okay. I will stand there and I will text Damien, which I don't know he's in his Tenebrous form, so
He
I
can't really
will.
text, but you can text him.
Yeah. I will text him and let him know that we are ready on his count, and then I
Okay.
will. I can't do aura perception through the wall, unfortunately.
No. No.
I will take a moment to step outside my body though and walk through the wall.
Okay. So do you have this, how is that a roll? Does it spend willpower or you just do it? I can't remember now on 20th anniversary.
Looking up right now.
But that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do whatever you need to do that, and pop out and look through the wall to make sure he's there. Okay. While you're doing that, I'll go over to Damien real quick because he would have been able to get up to the window way faster than you guys would have been able to go up the stairs. So you get up the fire escape area. Do you solidify or are you still your shadow?
I'm still in the shadow form.
Okay.
Is there... I mean, because it looks like I can slither through cracks, too, and get into the apartment through any kind of window.
Yes, except this is a really expensive apartment, so it is made so not like a house or like things like that. So it's probably pretty much tight. The window that's around the fire escape itself or security is locked up tight as well. So this part, you're up on the fire escape, but the security to get into the apartment is kind of ridiculous. So it's not.
It's the expenditure of 2 willpower points, by the way, to guarantee success. So I just do that.
Okay. So
I step through the wall.
So do you just kind of search around anywhere you can find a crevice, Damien, or do you just want to go up where in particular the fire escape is coming in?
Yeah, anywhere I can find, like if there's a air duct or something that comes out to the outside, or some kind of fireplace or something.
Yeah, that would be easy enough. You would within short order find an air duct you could slither or smoke through and get in that way. That's easy enough.
Fantastic.
So you do that. It won't take you particularly long. Where are you going in the penthouse? It's kind of like a small house, so it's got a bunch of different rooms in it. You just trying to hunt him down?
I said I would watch the fire escape, so I'm going to head back towards the exit to the fire escape as best I can using shadows.
Okay. All right. So where did I go? Okay. So our astral formed Malkavian heads inside. Now, what is he trying to do? Just verify that he's in there? Is that the idea?
I'm going to verify that he is in there, and then I'm going to act as a telepathic switchboard because my level 6 power allows me to form a mental link with up to 3 people.
Right.
I can roll to do so, or if they allow me to do so, I don't have to roll.
I would assume that in some ways, unless they would have said otherwise, you would have set that up before you even got there.
Likely, yes.
Even before you walked in. So yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, so I will go in maintaining a link with them, and as soon as I find him, I will relay his location to them both before I snap back to my body.
Okay, so you're kind of floating through the apartment trying to locate this individual, and eventually you find him lounging in what would probably be like a smaller patio or a smun room, but of course is rather unfurnished, and he is sitting on a very elegant but plain chair, and he just seems to be waiting. He's kind of staring off into the nighttime sky.
All right. I will look around to see if he has any ghouls or traps set or anything of that nature.
No, but you get every so often he kind of just looks back, looks around, and kind of has that kind of gesture of impatient individual, like he's kind of waiting for something to happen.
I'll let them know that he's waiting for us.
That's
and
a
then I
little
will.
creepy.
Yep, and then I will step back into my body and get ready to breach.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we'll open the door and go in quietly.
Okay. Yeah.
He can notice me astrally projecting by rolling perception awareness difficulty 8.
Okay. So
But
Rufus opens the door. It's unlocked.
Yep. I continue quietly. I'm not going to, spend for celerity or anything until I can see the target.
Okay. You make your way through the penthouse following Arthur's instructions. You make your kind of way off to the side, off to one of the kind of guest rooms, it seems. And off in that area is another smaller patio area. Pardon me. And there is where he's waiting. It's staring off into the night sky. It's got a nicer shot of the moon currently.
Okay.
He doesn't make any motion to move once you come up behind him.
Does he appear to have noticed me?
As you kind of hesitate, he goes, "Please, just come in and sit for a moment before we have to do this."
Rufus at least moves so that he can see the individual's face and does not sit.
Okay. So as you kind of...
It's not calm enough to sit. So.
Right. So he's not looking behind. He's like, you're looking at the back of his head, and he just kind of gestures to another chair. There is a simple kind of patio chair with kind of table and chairs, and he would have just gestured to one of them. Otherwise, it's a very sparse area. And you just kind of come around to where the chair would be, so you can look him in the face. And it is the Rowan Ashton Porter, the gentleman who's supposed to be the Toreador Primogen. He's a very swarthy-looking man. Please.
And I'll stand. You know who I am?
I believe so. I think you're one of the Archons here to take care of the problem.
Yes. You understand what this means?
He actually takes this really deep breath in. I do. And he stands up and kind of looks you in the eyes.
Am I still alone? My teammates haven't shown up?
No, they're apparently letting you do their thing.
I will share with Damien that I believe Rufus's conscience is going to get him messed up.
The other more sadistic vampires are watching to see what happens. That's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a physical form again, then.
I will cloak myself only on this one.
Yep. I take out a stake and give him a nod and spend for celerity.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and get it. We'll do initiative here real quick.
Yep.
You can effectively be under your cloak again, and you're heading into back Rufus up. Is that the idea, Arthur?
Yep.
I had assumed you did not bring Lance, that Lance was on car duty or something like that. Is that correct, or am I making a poor assumption there?
Lance is sitting in the car with the engine warmed up in case we have to engage in the high-speed car chase like in the cinemas.
Okay. I just didn't know if you'd risk him with such a high-threat target like that.
I would not risk my favorite ghoul in combat with an elder.
That's kind of what I thought. But otherwise, why don't everyone give me their initiative checks here? Where did my thing go?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hang on a second.
Initiative for me is 17, but I'll be right back.
Hey, just out of curiosity, what is the max blood pool for a 7th generation vampire these days?
20, I believe.
20?
So Rufus, what did you get? 20?
No. I rolled a 10, so that wits and dex 19.
Hey, Damien?
12.
Arthur?
I think Arthur stepped out of the room for a minute.
Yeah,
Well,
he muted himself and took off. He rolled a 9 though, so
Okay.
I know he goes before me because he's fast.
Yeah, he's fast. Okay.
I'm sorry, it's an 11, not a 12. 4 plus 7. I do math.
You do math well.
I blame Common Core.
I'll give him a few more moments here. I might be able to look it up by the time he gets back. I think I have it pretty readily. What's the history? No, that's all right. And so, was your initiative there, Jeremy?
Yeah, 17.
Okay. So it's going to go. Rowan, Damien, Arthur, and Rufus. I'm sorry, I got that completely out of order. That's for who's going to be announcing things first. Let me just do that then. Rowan is going to let you attack him. Damien, what would you like to do?
I will move towards the noise of what I know is impending battle
Okay.
with my sword out.
Okay. So you just kind of hop out and just head there. Okay. Are you spending for celerity, I assume?
No.
Okay. Arthur, what are you doing then?
I am going to attack from behind. I'm going to spend 3 blood to add to my strength. And I'm going to spend a willpower point. And it's going to be a called shot to the neck to try and cut off his head.
Okay.
And willpower point for the 1 guaranteed auto success.
Okay. And Rufus, what would you like to do?
I am attempting to do what I always do and drive a stake through his heart.
Okay. All right. So let us begin at the top of the order. Rufus, drive that stake.
All right. That's oops, hold on. I clicked the wrong button there. So, boom.
Yeah. Sadly, driving a stake in the heart is really, really hard work.
Yeah.
So you come at him, and do you even really? He doesn't move out of the way, and you drive the stake in through what appears to be an illusion as it disappears.
Yep. Good times. I immediately start pivoting to find the real person.
All right. Did you had spent for celerity? Did you, or did you not? I didn't hear that. No.
I did spend for celerity, and I'm starting to regret it.
Okay. Arthur, he's no longer there.
Can I get a reflexive perception awareness roll?
By all means.
All 5 dice of it. All the alertness, not that much awareness. Clear that real quick.
Who is it?
Nice!
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm kidding. So you pierce the old man's office gate, and he is further in the penthouse, actually, kind of further down the hallway. Well, kind of in a long shot, you would see him farther down, and when you look at him, it's the older gentleman that you had seen before.
Okay.
A very accentuated beard.
Am I able to get to him this combat turn?
Not without celerity.
I do not have celerity.
Okay, you can start moving towards him.
Is that willpower point that I spent for the strike still spent?
No.
Okay.
There's no reason for that.
The blood still is, as I am pumping my strength, but...
the blood is unfortunately still spent, yes.
I will uncloak so that they can see where I'm going, and I will head in his direction with my sword raised.
Okay, so he's heading down the hallway. Damien.
I'm still heading towards them.
Okay, so you're heading towards them, and as you're moving through the penthouse to where they are, why don't you give me a perception plus alertness real quick for me?
That's not bad.
Yeah, you hear where Arthur is moving, and you catch him out of the corner of your eyes. He drops out and moves past your field of vision, but you just catch him, and you can hear him moving through, kind of, do that soldier echolocation of, oh, where's the fight? Oh, it's over there, and you kind of move in the proper direction.
Okay.
All right, Spanky. Okay. When he sees Arthur coming for him, he smiles, spends blood for celerity, and vanishes effectively. He's so fucking fast.
Whoa.
He vanished because of obfuscate or because of celerity?
Yeah, he moves in the celerity, and he's moving so fast. He's gone. He just effectively disappears. You can tell he was moving. He was moving with celerity, but he's moving so fast it feels like he vanishes.
Let me, on the next combat turn, I will take a look and see if I can find his aura if I can't see him physically.
Okay. So we'll keep this initiative order for right now. Rufus, what would you like to do? Right, we have your celerity action. So you have 3? Did you spend, how much blood did you spend?
I spent 2, so I've I think it gives me 3 actions total.
Right. Yep, so you've got 2 more now. What would you like to do?
Find this guy. So I'm probably moving quickly through the apartment, searching.
Okay. So you'll spend those 2 actions. You'll go kind of blaring past Arthur to where, kind of at the end of the hallway where perhaps he's kind of gesturing slightly. And then you kind of speed off and in a direction to try to find him in the apartment itself. And then we'll go back around to the initiative again. So Spanky, you don't know what he's doing anymore, but he does what he's doing. He's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Damien, what are you going to do? Damien?
I'm going to keep looking for him and listening especially because he's kind of moving really fast, so I'm assuming he's making some kind of noise as he's moving around.
Some, but to echolocate that is a little trickier. Go ahead and give me a perception plus investigation to try to find him in here based off of noise. That's what you'll end up doing. Arthur, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be looking for his aura.
Okay. You can go ahead and give me a perception plus investigation as well for right now then. And Rufus, what are you going to do then? You just keep looking?
Yeah, he's going to keep looking. He's going to drop out of celerity for now.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me a roll as well.
Yeah, perception investigation for me as well.
Yeah, please. Okay, that's there.
It's almost like I don't want to find him.
Part of you probably doesn't. That high humanity.
So,
true.
as you guys are trying to search through this apartment to figure out where he's at, you're not particularly successful. Damien, however, notices as he's moving through some of the areas that the office itself looks not so much ransacked, but kind of like a big wind kind of blew through it. So all there's papers kind of scattered everywhere. There's no open windows. And as he's kind of just wandering around, he notices that there is kind of a mantle or placement for some sort of trophy weapon, and it's missing in the office.
Excellent.
We're going to drop out of combat at this point, and you guys can kind of regroup as you're trying to. Are you guys basically just continuing to search frantically through the apartment itself?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys begin the frantic search through the apartment. Go ahead, Arthur, and give me a, I want to say it's perception awareness to pierce obfuscate, please. Okay. So, you
if
guys.
it matters,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If it matters, his difficulty to hide himself from me would be my wit's alertness, which is 8.
Okay. I can just do the roll here, I suppose. Okay. So, you guys are searching for a little while, and it appears you cannot find him in here. That's just within the first. You guys wouldn't waste any time, like 15 seconds. You guys can spam the apartment pretty fast. You don't see him. Arthur is pretty convinced he's still here, because he kind of can sense something, but he can't really figure out where he's at. You're getting the feeling he's just watching.
How many people live in this building? From our reports.
There are a total of 20 individuals living in this building. Each has. Some of the lower floors are separated, and these higher floors are separate penthouses. Okay. So he's in the richer part of the penthouse.
Okay.
So did we have information on this individual? Like where it was he came from?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Like his origins, did we know anything about that, or just that he's this elder?
You knew who he was, his position of authority in the city, and his havens. That was pretty much it.
Okay.
Perhaps maybe the genealogy, that he was the grandchilder of the former Prince of Providence. I think that was revealed. Mm-hmm. That it was Castor was the childer of the former prince, and Castor was this person's sire.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems like it backwards.
So that's a little discongruent, given how easy it was to kill Castor.
Yeah. It's feeling a little upside down, our information.
I guess I'll just ask out loud if all Toreador allow breaches of the Masquerade. This Castor certainly didn't do anything about it, and neither did this guy.
I'm going to, at this time, text Lance to go and collect a no less than 3 entire gas cans full of gasoline and 3 to 4 Zippo lighters.
All right, that won't take him more than maybe 20 minutes or half an hour.
Okay, and then I will tell these guys to stand in front of the exit.
Yeah, well, Rufus is going to listen to Arthur and actually probably stay next to him as he has the best chance of seeing this guy.
And I'm going to cover the main exit.
Okay. So you're covering the main exit. Rufus is with you. What is Damien doing while Lance is on the gas run?
Essentially just asking the Toreador Primogen questions.
Okay.
Why did he let it happen? Why didn't he do anything about it? He had to have known. He had to have known eventually the Camarilla was going to come after him.
It was Prospero is technically his child.
Oh, it was his child that did it.
Yeah.
Well then.
And based on Arthur's analysis when he and I investigated the scene, Prospero seemed to have done it intentionally and staged.
Is the construction work done there, Jeremy?
What's that?
We're hearing lots of thuds and crunks. Bumps, boom, 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 boom. You're doing it right over there.
That's weird. I actually don't know what that is.
So, yeah. So, you guys go ahead and Damien, and give me a yeah, it's like making that bumping noise pretty consistently. Go ahead, Damien, and give me a charisma plus intimidate. See if you can bait him out.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's my cat playing with a toy.
Oh, okay, that would make sense why it was random.
Sorry.
I'm really upset that there's 2 1s in there.
Right, yeah, that would be pretty awesome otherwise. So as you're sitting there and you're kind of saying all these things, trying to get him, like, well, how can you leave that? How could you do that? How could you let it happen? At one point, a voice will respond, and this is about 10 minutes in, so you know he's still in the apartment somewhere, saying, perhaps I didn't let it happen.
And yet you allowed your child to run free.
So Rufus
still has not been brought to justice.
Yeah. Rufus adds, perhaps you were complacent or even assisted in its planning. You know, throws down the accusation.
It was something I have been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
The ability to breach the masquerade. Been waiting for it for a long time. That's interesting.
You know,
an exit is what I've been waiting for.
At this point, I'm going to go ahead and roll Charisma plus leadership to see if I can convince him to let us give him that exit and face us in, fair combat.
Sure, and you can go ahead and give me a perception awareness, since you guys baited him enough to try to have him talk, that you can try to figure out where the fuck he is again. That's easy enough. So go ahead and give me both.
Well, there's my perception awareness, so that's not too bad. 889.
No, that's not. I'll do that again here.
And then my...
Holy shit and a half. Yeah, he's... Okay, that's not going to work. Go ahead. What was the charisma leadership one?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and roll that. Now that was awesome.
So what do you say to him as you're waiting? This is about like 20 minutes in, and after Damien's managed to bait him a little bit, you guys started talking to him and kind of kept him talking a little bit. So what do you say to him that is going to draw him out?
Basically, what he says is, if he's looking for an exit, then let us to be the one to offer him that chance. Have him come out and face us in fair combat, and if he's able to best us, then he can go until some other Archons catch up with him.
So that's nice. I like that. You say that to him. What do you like? Is that the paraphrasing? What does actually Arthur say, out of curiosity?
Arthur
Oh,
would phrase it in Old English that I don't really know well enough to do convincingly.
All right, fair. No, that's a good enough out. Fair enough.
But he would be he'd be drawing on the King Arthur persona basically.
Okay. And this Rowan will come out and respond, and I'll get away with the same thing in Old English as well, that his vernacular for the King's English seems to be as old as Arthur would like to be using it. And he says something. He's like, yes, you are correct. No more hiding, no more tricks. I must take my final bow, and if it is here, so be it. I had wished, as he says this, he appears and kind of forms out of the air, kind of in that, as you've seen others do, where they kind of come out obfuscate, they kind of materialize. It's like, as you are right, this is my final curtain. If it is to be here with you, so be it. I had preferred a Justicar, someone of stature and prominence, but Archons, I suppose, will do if they are worthy of such things. And he kind of brings up a fencing saber that he'd been holding in his hand and kind of salutes it and brings it down. Fair combat.
Yeah. Rufus drops the stake and pulls out a sword.
I'll copy his gesture with my own sword, but also add, before we begin, just one more question, if you would permit me. Where is Prospero?
He smiles, and his mask turns into Prospero. And then it turns into the prince. And then it turns into the old man again. So when he was talking, he was the initial Toreador. Then he turns into Prospero. And then he turns back into the old man.
Of course.
So I see.
Let it begin. And he kind of bows, and we'll finish it again.
Yay.
Yep. Initiative.
Oh, yeah. It's about that time.
Oh, good. I got the lowest possible I could get. 9.
You didn't expect him to answer your challenge, huh?
Nope.
That's alright, I got a 9 too.
At melee 6, I am always ready to fight with the sword.
Yeah, I am not doing much better.
So I'm sorry, what was Damien?
I got a 9.
Arthur?
9.
And Rufus?
14.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. So I believe Damien needs to declare first.
Oh boy. What hand is his sword in?
His right.
That's my target.
Okay. Fair enough. Arthur?
Since I'm not striking from the shadows, I'm just going to make a straight attack. And I will spend 1 additional blood for my dexterity.
Okay.
I am now hungry. For the record, I have 2 blood out of 20 left.
Okay. Rufus, what are you doing, brother?
Rufus is spending I think a full 3 for celerity, because this guy's faster than all of us put together.
And just come at him?
Has the points for celerity.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw the sword at him. Or not throw it, but swing it.
Okay.
That would have been pretty epic.
Yeah. Not literally, just...
Okay. So he's going to activate his celerity, all 6 of it. He will also spend blood for strength. His first target is Arthur.
Oh, I hope so.
Because after he kills him, it will be a fair fight. To use obfuscate. Okay, so he's gonna go. He's gonna attack Arthur.
Okay. Because he is so much faster than I am, I will roll willpower so that I can abort to a defensive parry.
Okay. Ready?
I will have to spend a willpower point, it looks like.
Yeah, you got 3 successes.
Let me go ahead and roll my parry then. I laugh at his 3 successes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Very expertly done. Right. That would give us Rufus.
Okay.
As our swords clang together.
Yes, a truly worthy opponent.
And Rufus's clumsier slash will come in underneath, hopefully.
Okay.
There it is.
You'll be dodging.
Yeah. Assuming I added right. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I missed 2 dice. If you count them up, I'll throw the next.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5 successes there? Did I get that right?
I believe 5 successes, and I'll
get the other
throw
one
this
for
next
me.
to you. Sorry about that.
No
And still 5 successes.
Yeah.
Be right back.
He dodges.
Okay.
I want to say that was Arthur next, right? Yes, it was Arthur. And you use your turn to dodge, right? So Damien.
I'm going to strike at his hand.
Okay. Do that dodge trick again. What you got, Damien? This 10 goes away. One of the 9 goes away. The 9 goes away. So 3 successes? Do I got that right? A 9, an 8, and a 7?
Yeah. Well, 10, 9, and 9. I have 2 9s, an 8, and a 7 left. 2 7s. So 5 successes.
Oof.
Yeah, okay. Let's roll that. Oop, hang on. So you hit, but only with 2? Yep, so you only get 1 extra for damage.
Okay.
And you had done a cold shot, correct? So that's actually 7s don't count. Because it's going to probably... What's your damage on your sword? What's your difficulty on your sword? A 6? 6?
6, yes.
I want to say cold shot is at least a 2 difficulty.
Alright, well, let me make sure I have it all. So it's an 8 or higher. Add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 3.
Let's see if I can find that real quick. How many would you have had if you had 8s?
For 8s, 6 minus 3.
So find it real quick. Yeah, I'm having difficulty hunting it down all of a sudden. It's weird. We'll just say it's 2 for right now. Let's move it quick. This combat. There we go. Are you just trying to disarm him or cut off his hand?
I was going for the hand.
Okay.
I assumed that would be easier than just trying to, specifically knock the weapon out of his hand. Just take the hand.
Hmm. Yeah, well, there isn't, strangely enough, I'm not finding anything that talks about an exact attack on a certain body type.
Called shots,
Target.
page 274.
There we go. Small hand, 2 difficulty.
+1 damage, though.
Yep. So that's 8.
Only
That
3
takes away the
successes.
10. Yeah, so he'll dodge. Okay. Okay, so that brings us, I think, back around to him. He's going to attack Arthur again.
Awesome.
And 10 goes away, that 8 goes away, that 8 goes away. 2 successes.
He hits.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. Lethal.
I soak 1. It's up to you at 2 blood whether I should roll for frenzy after taking such a extreme hit, as that equals my stamina.
Sure, go ahead and roll self-control.
Is that going to be at a -2 penalty for my wounds?
I don't believe that affects virtue rolls.
I don't believe it does either, but I thought I would double check.
That'd be super douchey.
Yeah, it would.
Man, that'd be so douchey.
Yeah, it would. Well, I sustained frenzy for 1 round. I have to make 4 more successes before I'm out of frenzy, though.
Yeah, but if that's only if he wants to control himself, you can just slip into it and then his wound penalties go away. But
He could, but then he can't fight for shit.
there's that. So that was that action. Rufus, your, I believe, first celerity action? You spent for
Yeah.
2, right? Was that correct?
No, I spent for 3.
3? Was it 3? Okay, my apologies. So your first one?
Is another sword strike at him,
That's that.
and not exactly a Yahtzee there. 3 successes. Thank you.
3 successes.
Yeah.
Better than it could have been.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll try to dodge that one as well. Three successes, you say?
Yep.
All right, just dodge.
He looks fine.
Then that would be... Damon, did you spend sort of blood for Slayer?
No, I did not.
Okay. So then it's him again, and he will spend his last action to attack the Malkavian. So Rufus is going to get a shot unmolested.
Actually, I got 2 shots coming if he's out of actions.
That's true, you do. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
You got me.
Ooh, boy. You know, on that first hit, I was really hoping we'd find out that you secretly had just some giant well of fortitude.
I do have fortitude. I didn't roll it last round. Can I roll 3 dice for my fortitude, Nick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I completely forgot about that. Sir.
6. Yeah,
That's, I got 2 successes the first one. Let me roll for the last one, though. Hold on. I'm glad you said something. I completely forgot I had fortitude.
Well,
fortitude keeps you alive.
well, I
3
guess wishful
successes,
thinking
so-
does amount for something.
Yeah. All right, so that's 3 from that. So I've actually only taken 1 lethal, and then for this round, I rolled 4 dice and got 2 successes, and I'll roll my extra 3 first. Fortitude. God, thank God for fortitude.
Yeah, right.
So I soak 4 this turn.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 damage, so you only take 2.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He's alive!
That's way better.
Thank God.
Long live the king!
All right, Rufus, go ahead, brother. You got 2 shots on this asshole.
Okay. Oops.
Kill him a lot.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna spend a willpower for an extra success since I've missed him twice and not realize that he's slowing down.
Fair enough. This will just make sure he super dies.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
hypothetically, if he was missing, like, a leg, would that affect his celerity?
It would certainly impede his ability to do things, but it doesn't hamper his ability for celerity.
I mean, because it's really hard for someone to move super fast if it's just like,
Hey.
let go.
Hey, you can still crawl and hop really fast.
Well, you can bleed on someone when you're missing all 4 limbs, but, you know.
We're gonna
he would be able to crawl like 7 times faster than your average, one-legged man.
Run.
Exactly.
He looks like one
probably-
of those creepy kids from a Japanese horror movie.
Right, exactly. That's got to be at least a good brisk walk, mister.
Yeah.
So that's going to hit. Anything over the first success will be extra damage.
So
that's-
I think it's 4 extra. Looks
Yeah,
like.
strength plus 6 if you're using a sword. And you can spend a blood point to make all of your potents automatic successes.
I'm definitely spending that blood point, and it's strength plus 2 though, right?
Yeah, but you got an extra 4, so you got strength plus 6 total.
Oh, it's true. So 5.
Plus potents. Jeez, this guy's dead.
And the potence is just now automatic.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
spending the blood for the automatic, and here comes the strength plus 6, I guess. 5. So I think I count 5 there, plus the 6 for potence is 11.
All right.
There's no way a Toreador has that much fortitude.
No, I think
Well, you would have said that about the obfuscate too, right?
That's true.
that's 11. Yeah, that will drop him. That's 2.
You have another shot at him, too.
Yep, that will drop him. He'll be he's at 4, 6. Well, no, actually, he's at mauled. I'm sorry, he's still technically out. 5 out of 7.
If he's still standing, he ain't happy.
True.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna hit him again because he didn't go down, and there.
Yeah, that sword swing definitely sent like a glittering arc of blood flying across the room.
Yeah, he probably leaking intestines or something.
Well, vampires don't really bleed.
5, 6. So I think 6 on that next celerity action. So that ought to be strength plus 7 on the next one.
It's only
You
5. You got to cancel that one out with the 10.
Oh, there was 1 in there. Sorry, missed that.
It
So
doesn't
5.
matter, but you know,
Yeah.
you might roll really poorly on your damage, but you never know. All right, go for it, brother.
Still strength plus 6.
Yeah. So another strength plus 6, and you got to spend the blood for potence every time, right?
Yeah, or you roll them like dice.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna spend it.
I'd spend
I'm gonna spend it and make him dead.
Yep, don't even fuck around.
If I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And do 1s count on damage? I seem to remember them not.
They do not, but they don't cancel out, so you have 4
Or they
there.
don't cancel out. So yeah, 4. Plus 6 is 10.
Yeah, so that's there. He took out 1. Yep, he's very much unconscious.
I will go ahead and roll to resist frenzy again if you want.
Yep, please do.
It'd be a shame. if that's
2,
all that.
7, 8. So that's 3 successes, and then
This bird's not showing up. Or there, finally.
and 9. So that's 5. Before we finish him, I will definitely reclaim some of my lost blood from this bastard.
He only has 3 blood in him, so yeah, go ahead and give me self-control when you start feeding on him.
Yeah, I will tell them that if I start to try to deab him to please stake me. Self-control
Okay.
is the dice. 725.
Yeah, you're fine. It's a little tricky when you find out he has so little in him that just keeps sucking to get more. But
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Yeah.
I'll take all 3 points and then stand aside so that they can dispatch him.
Alright.
I'll step forward and take his sword and off with his head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoop shoop. He poofs pretty fast. Much even faster than Castor did.
Yeah, I'll clean my sword on his nice couch cushions.
I will look helplessly at the 2 gigantic rents in my overcoat and nice suit, as I was stabbed twice pretty damn good.
Yeah.
How poorly would that have gone if it was like your standard run-of-the-mill Archons? He would have just... But they would have died pretty wholesale.
Yeah, they would have.
Yeah.
So there we go. He's disposed of. There is a couple other people on your lists that are just members of the court that need to die, and then of course there's this Lilac.
Mm-hmm.
So are we counting this as having destroyed Castor, or Prospero, or do you think that there still is a Prospero and he was trying to throw us off the trail?
I think we killed the Masquerade breach. But I wouldn't
think
doubt
this was
there
his
being
plan.
an actual Prospero.
Yeah, we'll have to clean that up after we finish off our list.
Yeah.
Does his sword have some kind of sheath over in the hearth
Ooh.
where he had it hanging?
I'm going
Yeah.
to Spirit's Touch this poor dead guy's sword and see if there only was him versus him and Prospero.
Well, currently Damien's got his meaty paws all over it, and he's looking for a scabbard, which you would find on that plaque area. It's meant for dueling more than war.
Well, yeah.
I will ask if I could take a moment to just touch the blade.
My liege.
Thank you. I'm going to do, as Lance calls it, some of that creepy psychic shit.
All right. So you put your meaty paws over the sword, and I think there's a roll associated to it. So why don't you give me that suggestion roll?
There is.
What's the other two doing while he's doing Auspexy stuff?
Perception.
I'll-
Okay.
I'll take another look around in his office, see if there's anything worthwhile in there.
Give me a perception plus investigation. Rufus?
Rufus mutters to himself something about hoping, he found what he was looking for, and then starts trying to figure out where he's supposed to be next.
Okay.
I got 1 success. Unless it's a really easy one, then I got 2 successes.
And you're trying to find out what exactly again?
If Prospero and this gentleman were 2 different people.
The sword was never handled by a Prospero. It has no sense of that as a second person. So that's probably as much as you could get from it.
Okay. I will take a moment. I will join Rufus in investigating the office.
That was Damien.
Damien.
Damien, as you're investigating the office, you find a lot of legal paperwork, and you find his safe. And, so you have a good idea of his financial empire and all of his resources in that way. You could steal his money.
There's an investigation roll to help you find anything you need.
But otherwise, it's mundane, really. Nothing supernatural or crazy. So there's a safe.
I mean, we are looking for evidence of whether a Prospero actually existed or whether it was just him, so I think I'm going to have to open this safe.
Okay. Give me a... well, R2 could probably open it for you, no problem. But you... are going to need to give me... That would even be faster. You would need to give me an intelligence security or perception security, whatever's better.
Or, I could just walk in there and we could, team potence.
Yeah, I might just have to potence it.
I'm gonna stand back while they do that.
Well, we'll see if he can break into it, you know.
Not sure that I have security.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't think security comes standard in this one. I think it's larceny and
Larceny is what it is.
Yeah, I think in V20.
Yeah, I think you might be right. There is no security here.
Because I have lots of larceny, I could attempt that.
Okay, well, I'll give it a shot. He said perception and larceny.
Hey, I think Nick, I think you want us to roll larceny on this one.
Right. Okay. What did you get, brother?
I think you want us to roll larceny on this one. Security isn't in V20.
Oh, yes. Larceny.
So that's what I got because I have 0 points in larceny.
Yeah. You're like, I haven't seen these things before, and yeah, you can't help it.
I will tell him to stand aside.
But potence.
Yeah,
I'll stand aside. Let him open it, and if he can't get it open, well then I'll,
Well,
3-year-old at
successes
Kmart.
to try and pick the lock.
No, it's a pretty good save. 6s won't cut it.
Yep, I will stand aside so they can just rip the lock off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll spend the blood point.
I'll aid my strength, or lend my strength to aid in the effort. I'll hold it still because I don't think the wall's going to be enough of a brace.
No. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to just like rip the thing out of its hinges, like kind of pull it out in that way, the front door of it.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a willpower roll because you don't got enough potence to do that kind of nonsense.
Piece of strength. Oh yeah.
I'm really good at those.
So with the willpower, what do I add?
So the idea is you're rolling a willpower roll to see how much more higher on the feats of strength chart you can go. Right now, I think you're pretty high.
But you get to add your potence to it, so.
Right. The problem is you're trying to physically grab your hand and rip metal from metal.
Yeah, that's insanely high on the feats of strength roll.
Yeah. So you have imprint though, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So that make it a little easier. You kind of like get like a corner kind of open a little bit, but that's as much as you can manage. But that's still pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, we can get a crowbar in there later.
Yeah, crowbar. You could probably crowbar the shit out of it now. How about that? That seems pretty fair.
That'll work. Do we have a crowbar?
I'll look around for a crowbar or a fireplace poker or something.
Yeah, I mean, Lance eventually show back up with the gasoline now, and you can just get a crowbar from the car.
Yeah, I have Lance bring up a crowbar.
Someone look up on the YouTubes how to do this.
You guys do see Lance show up at the front door just holding 3 things of gasoline, and he has Zippos in his pocket.
Yep. There you go, my liege. Here is the fuel that you required and the means for spark it. Hands it over to you.
Thank you.
And your crowbar.
I'll hand the crowbar over to Damien and Rufus.
Go ahead.
Damien's cracking the safe. I just was offering some help.
Oh, okay. Well, you can still hold it still now that it's probably off the wall at this point. It's probably easier.
Yeah.
You're going to just prop it open, and you pop it open, and it's just got mad cash in it, deeds, things like that. There's at least a good 50 grand in just liquid cash there if you just kind of want to put some money in your pocket. There's bonds, there's other like property deeds, some more details about his financial empire, things of that nature.
I take the bonds and I shove them in Lance's jacket.
Okay.
And
I leave it there because stealing is wrong.
Yeah, I don't think I really need any of the money given my background. So it's more make sure that the deeds and the money gets sent through the proper channels, through the Justicar and everything. So when they come in to reclaim the town, they have all these deeds and paperwork and stuff.
Nice. That'll make it easier to dismantle anything that he might have set up. So fair enough, you get all that stuff gathered up.
And of course we also have to take the cash at some point because then otherwise we'd have to explain why the safe got broken into and all the cash is still there.
Yeah, that would be probably more suspicious than anything than like it's just sitting there and no one took it.
Grab some pillowcases, everybody.
So you guys roll the place, get the cash, get all the
Yeah.
important documents.
Rufus will text in to, say that he's dead instead of that he's incapacitated for once.
Okay.
Okay. Target down.
Target down. He does. This guy does have a pretty extensive closet, so his clothing and accessories and his jewelry is pretty nice. So there's probably a fair amount of. There's probably more cash and rings and tie pins and clips and things of that nature in his clothes than there was probably in the safe itself.
He does owe Arthur a new suit.
It's true.
He does. And
And was
Kings
he
have
a-
big wardrobes.
It's
I
true.
would
Was he of a
not
similar
let
size?
you a dip into the wardrobe there.
Nothing that a good tailor couldn't fix. It's not like he was 6'5" and you're only like 5'9" or something crazy. It's alterable.
Arthur will take one of these suits and tell Lance to bring it to the car.
Very good.
Anything that could be considered royal red or pimp purple.
But he's got some stuff that's soft colors that are kind of avant-garde that he wore on occasion that he grabs. You notice that Lance grabbed a couple more suits for himself as he made his way out.
Yep, I say nothing. Lance is allowed.
So you guys head out. What do you guys would like to do at this point? The thing that you needed to do together, for certain, is done. Though Lucen would probably prefer more than one of you investigating this lilac, this possible Sedite, just for safety. Otherwise, you're kind of left to kill some more kindred.
We can investigate the lilac again, I guess.
Yeah, if Lilac's the next high priority target, that's where I'll be heading.
It's
Get a little bit of something to eat first.
Yeah.
It's a concern because if she actually is a Sedite, then who knows how much of a problem that is for the city. And anyone they move in afterwards, they want to make sure there isn't as much Sabbat problems or as little problems as possible for the new residents. So yeah, it's a pretty big target. You guys want to do feeding first? Is the idea?
Yes, that would be a fantastic idea.
Rufus will partake of that as well, since the other two are.
What kind of feeding are you guys going to do?
As much as possible.
I'm going to find somebody in the halls here and dominate the crap out of them.
Okay.
And then take just enough to where they won't die.
That's 3, really, and that's pushing it.
Yep.
Without medical attention. 2 is really safe. That's the safest you can do. 3, they're going to be sick and probably need bed rest, but they won't die.
Mortals are always sleeping. I'll take 3.
Okay. You can at least get 3 with a janitor or someone in and around the building without any issue. Otherwise, go ahead and give me hunting rolls, which will be dictated by how you're doing it. How you guys just jumping people?
Mine will be more dominating them.
Okay. Rufus?
I'm going to go to a rough neighborhood and feed off of either a, gently off a prostitute or a little bit more roughly off a mugger.
Okay. Go ahead. You give me a charisma plus. I think Streetwise still exists, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a charisma plus Streetwise. What are you doing, Damien?
I'm actually going with Rufus to a bad neighborhood.
Give me the same thing. Are you kind of doing the same thing, Arthur, but just using dominate?
Yep.
Okay. You can go ahead and give me a dex stealth, which I assume is a little bit better for you. Just popping out, taking the blood, and dominating them. They're actually trying to pretend like there's an interaction or some sort of pretense that's not supernatural.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you said charisma what?
Streetwise.
Even at manipulation leadership or manipulation intimidation, I don't have that much of a difference between that and my dex stealth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at
It looks
stealth.
like I got 1 success, so.
Actually, you got 1, 2,
Oh, is it more?
3.
3?
Yeah. Now the problem is that the newer way of doing it is you're only supposed to get 2 for making a successful roll. Period.
Okay.
So you get 2 there, and you get another 2 as well, Damien, and that's effectively an hour. You have, we'll say, 3 more hours before it's risky to be out, that you couldn't get back safely. It will probably take you roughly an hour to get to this place Lilac is it's in the warehouse district. In fact, you're actually probably closer to her now as you're hunting than you would have been before. She's in the bad neighborhood.
I got one
Rufus.
success.
You get at least the 2. That's all you needed is the 2. You needed a success to get 2 there.
Okay.
You were saying, Jeremy? I'm sorry. Seth?
I only got 1 success. That's all. I'll be right back.
I was going to say, Rufus is pretty much ready to go, and doesn't want to stretch it too late. So.
Do you need to do any more hunting, Damien?
Do you get 2 per success or 2 total?
2 total. It used to be a little crazy how you could do this weird feast or famine and you'd end up with a lot more than you needed or intended for. So I think this was trying to scale that back. So you have at least 1 more hour to do it rather safely if you wanted to try it again.
If I can do it on the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's very meta how you go about the hunting in that way. If you're out of the bad neighborhood, well, I guess the place you're going to is still in a pretty shitty neighborhood, so your difficulties are only going to be 4s.
Okay.
So yeah, you get another 2 without any issue.
Alright, that puts me a little bit more of a comfortable range between me and frenzying.
Right on. So you guys will head to, there is a part of Providence, the warehouse district, that's connected to the port that's more run down as the export-import business on the East Coast dwindled pretty rapidly after the 80s for America. And so there's plenty of warehouses in Providence that are abandoned and aren't being in use, and it seems that this Lilac has haunt, a place where she's hosted parties apparently in the past for Bruja and other members of the court. And so when you guys are kind of getting into the neighborhood and near the warehouse, the district that she's in, there's a fair amount of activity in this area. There seems to be a reasonable amount of warehouse clubs or other events kind of going on in this part of the neighborhood, but it is very sparse and light traffic, but it's not non-existent. So there are mortals here.
Okay. We'll have to be a little more careful with our use of supernatural powers.
Mm.
Yep,
Agreed.
last time didn't go well.
Nope.
I'm going to run downstairs and grab a refill out of the fridge. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Smoke break.
She's supposed to be in this bar? Ah.
Yeah, this is it's like a private warehouse. It's not open to the public, but it's apparently decked out as like it would be a club, like a private hosting area.
So I'm assuming there's some kind of bouncer up front.
No, it is not open to the public. However, it is something that just she has hosted for parties for other kindred, which is why they know where it is.
Okay.
But there are other warehouse clubs in the area within reasonable walking distance. So every 10 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, you'll see maybe a couple, a cadre of women going to and from a club together for safety, stuff like that. But it's very sparse. Lighting around areas enough that you can see, corners and kind of movement, but it's not like a well-lit downtown either. That give you a better idea or at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you guys like to approach? I'd assume that you we're starting a few blocks away from the warehouse, or practically on top of it. How would you guys like to approach it, as it's not accessible to the public? So walking up might look a little weird.
Invisible like normal?
I'm sorry?
Invisibly like normal?
Yeah, I mean, from what you can tell, there's slight variance as far as the warehouse's designs and colors, but nothing, corporate branding, old rundown signs and paint, but nothing suspicious, or there's certainly not any large amounts of activity around the warehouse in question.
I will cloak myself and my friends then.
Okay.
I will follow Arthur's lead.
There are at least 3 entrances into the warehouse. The one that seems to be the main, a docking area, which has a couple different bay doors, and then another side door that seems the most obvious as you're coming up to them. The docking area is where the cars are. There seem to be 4 cars there parked out in the docking area of this warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to approach?
Cloaked, I think we should go to one of the carport entrances.
Okay.
Are there any cameras around?
Yes, there are cameras outside. Reasonably well positioned. How much larceny does everyone have?
I have 2.
0.
Damien?
I'm sorry, what are you looking for?
How much larceny? Just how much do you have?
Oh, none.
Okay. With two, Arthur, you can tell that it's pretty decent security. They have their corners covered. It would be hard to break in without being noticed on the approach. There might be places that aren't covered, but they would likely see you coming up to the warehouse at one point.
And my obfuscate won't fool the cameras.
No.
No, but I can deal with the camera if I can get to it.
Yeah, maybe an inky, shadowy mess is just what we need. I need to get Lance one of those sniper rifles so he can just start shooting these things out.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
That's the cop showing up within 5 minutes of the gunshot. There's that problem.
I'm assuming that the cameras are out of, arm's reach.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Are they
Not
up?
terribly so. They're only a second or third story out of reach, so not some. You could hit it with your potence like you were hitting the top of a basketball court, but that'd look a little masquerade breachy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just could jump up and swat it away, but that's probably not the best idea.
That's right. Anyone used to be a pitcher in their past life?
I'm
No.
not sure anyone even knows what
Good
you
throwing
might
arm.
I think you two might know what baseball is, right? You guys know what the earlier form of it was, but I don't. This modern baseball, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's all steroids anyway.
Yeah,
We have a car, right? We have a car, right?
Oh, yeah, you guys all came in your own cars. It's America.
Okay, I'm going to have Lance run a diversion where he drives his car into the front door and bails out maybe 50 feet before it hits. That way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then he's gonna.
We were supposed to be trying to keep these quiet, though, right?
Yeah.
Quiet supernaturally. That's not really a supernatural thing. That's just some asshole got drunk and drove into it.
As long as you don't do anything supernatural afterwards, you would be fine.
I have an idea. Let's have an idea.
All right.
If you two want to go and hide, I'll just sit here and knock on the door until they come and answer. Because the camera's not going to pick me up, so someone's going to come and answer.
It's true.
And then I'll deal with them. And that way,
do it that way too.
That way, you two aren't in any of the videos.
Sounds good to me.
That'll work.
I guess.
So, all right. So you're walking up to the front door and knocking. What are you two doing? Obfuscating, I assume. You're cloaking.
I'm just staying out of range. I'm gonna hide somewhere in some shadows, just normal style, staying out of range of the cameras and kind of watching him, whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
If you want to keep obfuscating me, you can. And then I'll just be invisible to them too.
Okay, there's an obfuscate roll 10, 7, 9, 8. So
you're walking up with Damien. Do I have that right?
no, Rufus is going by himself. Or no, Damien's going by himself.
Damien's going by himself. Rufus is taking Damien's advice and keeping his head low.
Until I can deal with the camera issue.
Okay.
This way, they're not caught on any kind of camera.
I'm also clarify. Go ahead,
I'm
Jamie.
also obfuscating Lance, who probably looks very relieved that he doesn't have to drive a car into a warehouse.
Well, he's a very stoic individual. You would never give up the idea that he was afraid, but you probably knew he was crazy about that.
Likely is.
You mean I don't have to crash a car into a building today? Whew.
So the idea is that Arthur is obfuscating Rufus,
And
but
Lance.
just also normally hiding everyone together
Yes.
as David
Yeah.
approaches. Okay, so and that was your obfuscate roll. Well, and that's the thing. Is Rufus doesn't
That's
actually
my-
need to make a stealth roll, but go ahead and make me one in case something weird happens and you get dropped out. And Damon, you can just walk right up like a motherfucker and knock on the door. That's fine.
That's how I roll.
That's how you roll them.
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
catching up on the internets.
I mean, interwebs. Not all just cat videos, apparently.
It's not. There is in fact much more than cat videos on these internets.
You know, there is a wealth of educational knowledge.
And
Okay.
This
Steve
is digging this internet thing. You
So-
know, libraries close early, but the internet is open all night.
I was watching this show called Ghost Hunters, where people investigate these strange noises. So I figured they might as well come and investigate something knocking at the door that doesn't show up on video.
Now talk about something that would have been a missed opportunity if you were running a modern Wraith game. Is the idea of the Ghost Hunter, like kind of mythos that showed up in like the
Right?
Oh,
early
man.
2000s.
Evidently, they're just plumbers. I don't really see the appeal, but you know.
That's amazing.
Okay, so those two are reasonably well hidden in some, kind of like a shadow in the side alleyway between two of the warehouses. Something that you could get to the front door reasonably quick, but is not going to be obvious if someone just kind of sticks their head out. Damien saunters up to the front door, knocks.
Knock, knock, knock.
There isn't an immediate response. Does he just knock again, or do you wait?
I'm gonna keep knocking.
Okay. Or are you just going to keep like ding, 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 like that?
I'm gonna pound really loud one time.
Uh-huh.
Not enough to like do any damage to the door, but at least just keep knocking every 30 seconds or so that there's not an answer.
Okay. So he will knock for, 2 minutes at least, and he's just occasionally bang, bang. After the 2 minutes, someone will throw open the door and look around, expecting to see nothing and confirming that, but now they see something, and somehow that's weirder than not seeing nothing. You kind of see that kind of transpire on their face, like, kind of just looking around, expecting nothing, but seeing your name, and so they come out and whip around and they look him in the eye, and it's a big Samoan guy, pushing 6'5", easily 300 to 400 pounds. Someone who could be a big boy if he lifted, but prefers to put ho-hos in his mouth 5 at a time. He's got this really slick back hair into a ponytail. And Damien, I recall correctly, he's not exactly a short cat. He's like 6 foot, right?
He's about 6 foot, yeah.
So he's a reasonably tall man. So this is one of the few times where you really have to look up at somebody. And he's looking down at you, and you can tell in his eyes, like I said, that confusion, and he's just looking. And so there's this moment where, he's staring at Damien, Damien's staring at him. No one's really saying anything. And then after about 15 seconds of just this bravado silence of like going back and forth, if this was a camera shot, we just keep having this like pan back and forth, just them staring at each other. You get a little closer, maybe a little farther away, and then eventually the gentleman from the warehouse is like, "The fuck are you?"
I'm gonna look up at him. I'm gonna dominate him.
Okay, what are you gonna dominate?
I'm gonna mesmerize him that I'm his buddy and he should let me in, and he took forever knocking.
Okay. When you hit him with dominate and you're expecting to like kind of roll over the mortal will, like mortals are putty in your hands, you hit that resistance of a supernatural creature. So you need to give me your mesmerism roll. So unsurprisingly, you are a sufficient generation to dominate him. There's probably a few creatures walking on Earth right now that you couldn't dominate, but it's good just to mention it.
That's a fairly decent roll.
Yeah. So what was the Dominator? You were telling him that you were his friend, and he took too long to answer the door, if I got that correct?
He took way too long to answer the door. He told me to come by.
So you won't be able to like imprint some sort of friendship in him, but you can at least get that commands in him. Like he told you to come by, and he took you too long getting to the door. That's easy enough. So he's like, "Yes, come in." He says in that weird kind of monotone, automatic way.
Does he have like some kind of key card on him or anything?
No, it looks like it's just when you kind of just pass through the threshold, you can tell that it's and like deadlocks and things of that nature. It's not like a high security 21st century warehouse. It just has a bunch of deadlocks and things of that nature.
Okay.
You could push through it pretty easily. But he walks you in, and it's a pretty nice club. It's much nicer than Pulse, in fact, as far as interior. It's completely converted. It doesn't have much in the way of tables. It's a huge open area with a very posh interior with lots of leathers, white leathers and silvers and gold trims. Very kind of 21st century Vegas club feel. And there just seems to be a very motley crew sitting around one gigantic kind of, I guess, restaurant-style table where you could have a bunch of either meals or drinks on. And they just have shit all across the table, drugs, guns, all sorts of weird paraphernalia. And they're just bullshitting and doing drugs and kicking it basically together. The one you're pretty sure called Lilac is a pretty stunning woman, appearance 5. With this kind of pastel lilac-colored hair, which is kind of purple-colored hair, which is you're assuming where she got her name from, and she is commanding the room and making most of the people laugh or kind of swoon, as the case may be, and they just seem to be kind of a crew relaxing.
Did the guy lock the door behind me?
Nope. That you see all that when you come in, and once you come in, he goes, "I'm sorry, I took too long to answer the door."
You're forgiven.
And he closes the door behind you and just starts locking it. And without really thinking about it, he just kind of goes back over to sitting. And it only is when he walks over past you and everyone starts kind of asking, well, who's at the door, what's going on? It's kind of all kind of different chimes in. They see that you're just effectively standing right next to him as he's walking by you, and he kind of looks confused, like, yeah, but I just let him in. It's what?
I'm going to unlock the door and motion for my friends.
Okay. Like the one you're assuming Lilac gets down. As she gets down from where she's at, there's about 10 of these guys coming with her, and they all walk over. And who may you be?
The question is not who am I, but more what I am.
I'm heading over towards the door that he just unlocked.
Okay.
As is Rufus.
So, I assume that you're Lilac. Yes?
Yes. JB, get the door. And the gentleman that you talked to before walks over to the door and starts closing it.
I'm going to shove him out of the way.
Okay. We'll say for the sake of argument, he wasn't expecting you to shove him out of the way, and I assume you're going to use your potentness?
If I need to.
He's certainly not going to just let you push him over. So go ahead and give me a strength brawl.
All right.
I assume you two were coming up when he opened the door, was that correct?
Quickly, yes.
Yeah.
Quickly, okay. The 1, okay, so you're a 7. Here's the other 7. Sorry, that takes care of the 9. That takes care of a 9.
Yeah, so there's
So then you have 2 7s. Okay. Yeah, he wasn't dodging. So you push him out of the way pretty quickly, and Lilac's, whoa, darling, you just showed up. I don't think you need to be doing things like that, as the 10 individuals behind her pull out various forms of guns, most of them just pistols. JB kind of gets up off the ground.
I wouldn't suggest bringing a gun to a knife fight.
She looks a little confused.
Well, you can put
What?
your guns. You can put your guns down now, and things will go a lot easier for you if you could just hear me and my friends out. However, if the guns are still pointing at me in a couple seconds, I'm going to get angry, and you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Well, given that I don't know who you are or why you're here, and you're just making idle threats, I'm going to assume you're not someone who's going to be my friend. So, boys, shoot him.
I will take a moment to decloak, and I will tell them that I am Arthur King, the once and future king of Clan Malkavian, and that in the name of Lucinda of Clan Venture, they're all sentenced to the final death.
You can.
That works too.
Okay. So he says, as she says, "Boys, shoot him." They kind of spouts out, "I am King Evan."
He runs in. I am Arthur, King of the Britain.
Rufus pulls the door shut.
Dagger at you doesn't make you king.
So everyone roll initiative as Rufus is trying to contain the mess as the Arthur is making the proclamation.
Yeah, so Arthur
People are
starts
getting shot.
pontificating, and Rufus shuts the door. He's like, "This is staying inside."
Yeah.
I love my initiative rolls all day today. I haven't rolled higher than a 2.
Well, you've done well with those twos.
See, they done messed up. They don't know the Chicago way, evidently.
Chicago.
They pull a bunch of guns. They put one of ours in the hospital. We put 10 of theirs in the morgue.
Okay. So, Damien, what did you get, brother?
I have a 8.
An 8. All right. Rufus?
I have a 15 and a toddler calling my name. I'll be back.
Okay. Father wins. Arthur?
11.
Okay. We'll give him a second so he knows that the initiative order was going. So everyone just take a quick break and see if he comes back fast.
Okay.
This combat, it will be more Three Stooges comedical. The other fight was, someone might have gone down. Someone might have gotten hurt. We almost lost Arthur.
Yeah.
This fight might...
This one's
Yeah.
going to have Benny Hill music playing in the background.
A little bit. Something's going to have to go wrong for something bad to happen to you.
Limbs start going flying, and people are suddenly wondering, what just happened?
Yeah. I did spend 4 blood before this, by the way, to heal my wounds from the sword fight.
Oh, fair enough. Right on.
It leaves me with 5 for the record.
I'm at 7. After eating 2 people.
Oh.
They were tasty.
So how's the Star Wars concept, Dame? Oh, no, now I'm calling you Damien Christ and a half. Dan.
I've been looking. I picked up the Enter the Unknown book
Uh-huh.
and was looking at a couple different races, but because everybody seemed like they wanted to be some kind of specialist in their field, and we had the bounty hunters and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with playing a captain, and right now I'm thinking it's just a human who's ex-military service with the Imperials, saw some stuff, and now he's in the Outer Rim.
Fair enough. That sounds pretty solid. All right, let's we'll get this combat done because I imagine it's getting late for Zach here.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm wide awake.
Okay, fair enough. So what we'll do here is we'll do this initiative order. So the ghouls are at the bottom. They're going to shoot people who aren't their masters. That's pretty much what they're going to do.
Their mistake.
Yeah. JB, which is the guy you pushed to the ground, is going to attack Damien with his evil Setite tongue. Damien?
I'm going to spend 2 points in celerity. And I'm going to start taking gun hands off of people.
Fair enough, brother. Then that would be Arthur.
Arthur is going to roll up to Lilac, and he's going to engage with his sword.
Okay. Rufus.
I think Rufus is going to take down the JB and the slashing tongue.
Okay. Going after JB. You spending any blood for celerity? Now is the time.
I'm going to spend 1 blood for celerity.
Okay. Alright, and then Lilac will attempt to hypnotize Arthur.
Hypnotize me?
Boy.
Hypnotize. She's gonna put the whammy on you.
Is she a 7th generation or above?
Nope.
Then she fails automatically.
Good thing it's not dominate.
Oh, hypnotize.
Hypnotize.
Which is my resistance for that?
You can roll willpower roll difficulty 9, as her eyes entrance you as she's a Serpentis and proves that she is in fact a Setite.
Serpentis. I hate Serpentis.
Anyone with Kindred lore will just know that. I think, is that all you have Kindred lore?
I have Kindred lore too, yeah.
Yeah, you'll know that that's enough to confirm that she's a Setite.
What, the eyes
I don't actually have Kindred lore, but
okay. So Arthur knows it.
I
knows
just got
it,
lore in a cult.
I
He
have
knows that
Kindred
it's
lore.
most certainly Kindred lore, as it's getting whammied on him. So willpower difficulty 9, please.
Alrighty.
Fingers crossed.
If attacked or otherwise harmed, I can also spend a willpower point to break the spell, correct?
That is correct.
Alright, I'll roll the willpower first, see if I have to waste a willpower point. I'll be upset if I do.
I believe in you.
I believe I botched.
Oh!
Oh!
Oops, where did I lose my space? There it is.
Yeah, I will have to spend a willpower point after I recover from the botch.
Yeah, what we'll say is that, I mean, normally you would, I want to say, so yeah, you just can't not look, see there, yeah, so you basically just can't look away, you're kind of hypnotized by her eyes.
Yeah, I can't move from the spot until I recover from the botch and spend a willpower point, however many rounds you say that's going to be.
We'll just say that's the one. You know, what she's going to do with, what I'll say with the botch, is that you're so kind of mesmerized from it that she can actually start pulling away from you and keeping that eye contact,
Okay.
and getting a reasonable way, whereas you're just kind of sitting there kind of stupid. And in doing so, at least gets enough of a distance away from Rufus that he'll have to close to reach her at this point. Rufus, I'm sorry, he was going after the other guy, wasn't he?
I was, because he was attacking Damien, who was ignoring him.
Mm-hmm. So she'll start trying to vacate, and she seems like she's getting a reasonable distance between you and Arthur. So that's Rufus. What would you like to do?
I would like to cut the shit out of that dude who's about to like swing a nasty looking tongue at Damien.
Yeah, it's like this cartoon serpent's forked tongue starts to unroll from his mouth. And
Yeah, that shit is totally not allowed.
Yeah, it's probably not good.
go. And I only spent 1 for celerity, so I get that. So I
He's
think
not
that's
gonna.
6.
Yeah, he won't be aborting to dodge. So just go ahead and.
Okay. Well, that's his problem.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's big and bad. He doesn't know what's Freight Train was about to unleash on him. I can take it. I'm fine.
Yeah, for the hell of it, I think I'm just gonna spend the blood on potence. But yeah.
I mean,
He's
yeah. I
gonna
mean, in
be
some ways, you can tell that he's not. He's being pretty cocky. He's not going to see his shit coming.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 13, I think, on damage.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1 cancels out that 10, but the rest are staying. So that's.
Well, that's damage. You said he
that's
wasn't
damage?
dodging?
Yeah.
That's damage.
Oh, I missed the first roll. My apologies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had like 6 successes, so it was an additional
No, I was just
5.
writing everything else, so you're fine. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, and then how much potence?
I spent the blood, so 6, so 13.
Okay, so 13 damage. I'm gonna roll his 3 soak. Hang on.
He might.
2 of that. He is.
Oh, not a bad roll. Good effort.
No, pretty good. He gets an A+ there. But yeah, you knocked him into Happy Torpor in like 1 hit. You're like, boom. You launch him across the warehouse, and he slams against the opposing concrete wall, causing slight cracks, and hangs there for a moment before just slumping slowly to the ground.
Yeah. He's probably got a big cut in him too, because that was a sword that hit him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were punching the shit out of him. By all means, yeah, you eviscerate him then.
Yeah, and there we go. Your back's clear, Damien.
I trusted you.
Arthur loses his turn this round.
Yeah.
Then JB is very much in Torporland. I'm sorry, Damien would have gone before JB anyway. So Damien, go ahead.
Okay. First gun guy in reach.
Okay.
I guess is gonna go down.
Yep.
So strength. Alright, so 10 cancels out, 9 cancels out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage. These guys are breathers, so if you do more than 7, he's done.
And then I add the extra 5, right?
Yes.
This is gonna be an insane roll. Yeah.
I think he dies in there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't die outright, but he's not really a threat anymore with 5 wounds.
2, 3.
Since he bleeds. That would be the downside of the rolling versus automatic successes. But he's still just a problem. It's not like he's in the fight really anymore.
And does the fact that sword's my specialty count towards damage too, or just a hit?
That just adds to hit. So if you had any 10s, you would have gotten to reroll them there. You don't reroll 10s on damage. But he can't soak lethal because he's a breather, so he just falls over.
Breather.
Slicey.
Okay. So that is we're moving into our first initiative round. So Rufus, what would you like to do?
With JB down, Rufus is going to close on Lilac, but I think based on previous discussion, I can't get there.
You could spend that turn and you'll be on top of her.
Yeah, I'll get on top of her, but I won't be able to act on her this round.
Well, you gotta pace yourself. Gotta slow down. Your woman just doesn't like it when you jump on top. Okay, so but you're engaged with her. That's not. Well, see, that's even more. You've engaged her in melee. Damien.
Can I close the distance on her and attack?
You can get the distance with one attack, one round, one action, and then the next action you can fuck her up.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. And you just had the one, right, Rufus?
Yeah, I only spent the one for celerity.
Okay. Alright, so it's just Damien. Go for it.
Okay. I am going to spend the blood point in potence now, and I'm going to take out one of her legs.
Alright. I want to say that was a +1 difficulty.
Yes. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
And those 10s you can reroll because of your specialty. So roll 2 more dice.
And then it cancels out.
Yes. But it was a noble effort. Go ahead and take her out.
Okay. So. 1, 2, 3 plus 6, so 9.
Yep, drop her. Gone.
He swings.
Cut her across the chest. That definitely breaks the gaze and snaps Arthur out of the stupor.
Oh no, I was going after her leg.
Yeah, that would snap. That would break her gaze and break Arthur out of the stupor.
Okay. I thought you said chest, and I was like, what?
I did. I apologize. I remember you said you just did the cold shot, so I was like, it'd still break her gaze. She still wouldn't be able to look at you. All right. Okay. I think that's basically it. There's just the ghouls now that's left as JB and her are out of it. Given the late hour, we'll just kind of hand wave that, you guys take maybe another 1 or 2 wounds, spend another 1 or 2 blood, and you guys can make short work of the ghouls. How is Rufus dealing with all this?
He's not having a good time right now, but he's trying to rationalize it all in his head. He's the Toreador Primogen, knew it was coming, actually staged the whole thing.
Right.
He accepted his fate. The Setites are just a blight on society. And, well, he doesn't really condone killing.
Right, does that mean they die?
They were drug dealers, and they were impersonating his brothers, and,
That's right. We should just kill all the drug dealers. That would solve most of the problems with it.
It would solve the problem, but, he doesn't feel very good about it.
Why don't you give me a
They tried to kill us.
He was trying to, rip Damien in half with a nasty tongue.
Who's that? But it's still death.
It is still death. Make the roll.
Yeah, so you're not... It's a rough night for Rufus. He's probably done more killing tonight than he probably has in the last 10 years, all combined. But he's holding it together. Like you said, the Setites make it somewhat easier. These are not nice people. So maybe killing them is a little extreme, but they weren't really great. So it's kind of this duality of things.
Setites have that problem of not really being easy to incapacitate with a stake all the time, too.
So he's kind of in between feeling bad that he, killed some bad people, and his hand was a little forced to it, but at the same time, he seems pretty remorseful. It's just the sense of being kind of stuck in a bad situation and trying to make it better for others in the future. So yeah, you guys have made short work of them. The ghouls were definitely shooting guns, so it's only a matter of minutes before the cops show up.
Um, yeah. So let's leave the drugs on the table and leave. I mean, I think the cops will. We get rid of the Sedite bodies.
Yep, that's fine with me.
The cops should probably write it off as just a turf war.
Does Lance still have the gasoline?
Mhm.
Yes, Lance still has the gasoline and the lighters.
We can make a quick clean exit from this place.
You want to set the drug warehouse on fire?
Might as well.
That could spread.
Yeah, I'm a little less excited about the fire, but
Well, yeah, the fire could spread to people who have nothing to do with this at all.
yeah. I
Arthur
mean,
doesn't like that
this
idea.
right now is a drug crime scene. It's a drug gang that got wiped out.
Arthur is going to grab... Do any of the ghouls have automatic weapons? Or submachine guns?
Yeah, I imagine they'd have something that has some semi-auto fire.
If JB and Lilac are dead but they aren't decomposing, Arthur will grab one of the nearby semi-automatic or automatic weapons and start pumping bullets into the areas where they've been sliced so that it looks like they were killed by gunfire and not by swords.
The ghouls are one thing. You'd be instructed if the vampire bodies remain that you need to remove them. Vampire skulls have fangs in them.
Yeah, that's what I meant was the vampire bodies, really.
Okay.
We can take the heads at least.
That will look suspicious.
Yeah, that looks a little weird to leave headless bodies. I think we should just
Yeah, I tell
Take your-
Lance,
The fire's
grab
a
a
bit.
tarp or something quick, throw
I
them in
tell
the car.
Lance to, basically get us some blankets and we'll drag them bitches into the car.
Okay.
And can we deal with the cameras?
You
You're gonna set a-
get right. So what we're gonna do at this point is because you're running out of time.
Yeah.
Lance can grab the two bodies and put them in the car, but he'll already tell you on the way back for like Lilac or JB that there are people outside watching. Rufus, go ahead and give me a perception plus investigation, and we're going to say it's difficulty 8, just to figure out where the stupid security place is, like, real quick.
Yeah.
You're assuming it's in one of the offices, so you just have to figure out where the hell that is. What's Damien doing?
I'm helping Rufus try to find an office.
Okay, do that for me, please.
I got one, so.
I didn't.
Okay. You just are both kind of scanning. There's a lot of VIP areas and weird kind of offshoot rooms. And so just Damien just guesses wrong. Oh, I'm in the kitchen. Oh, I'm in a bathroom. Oh, I'm in the VIP area. And Rufus, after a little bit of guessing, finds the back manager area kind of through one of the VIP rooms, which is why it was kind of hard to find. And he finds the security camera back there.
Okay.
Does he have any technology?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of computer.
Okay.
Not really enough. If there's a button with the eject symbol, he'll probably hit that. If not, I think he's just gonna like open up
If
some
he's-
automatic weapon, fire into it, and then leave.
If he has any technology or computers, he'd be able to navigate it. It's not, these
Okay.
systems are designed to be fairly straightforward. You at least have to know something about them, unless I'm not being an anachronistic vampire. So yeah, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I just need to navigate here, and oh okay, pop it out and get those moments erased and get what physical evidence you need removed.
Yeah, and then he's out of there.
Okay.
Hopefully the bodies are taken care of by then.
Yeah, Lance. That's the one great thing about having Lance. He did that pretty fast. As you're heading out, you shout for Damien, and Damien's like in a bathroom, like, "What? Oh, okay, we're leaving. Okay."
Ninja smoke.
But oh, you found it. Good. Let's go. What is Arthur doing this entire time?
Arthur is cloaking Lance and the bodies so that the onlookers outside don't see them dragging bodies and putting them in trunks.
Well, you can do that for the second one. You told him to put him in the first time, so you just kind of panicked and kind of get him in there. And the onlookers were just looking well before because of the gunfire. But when you come out the second time and you at least obfuscate the body, you guys can kind of mimic it going into the second not body go in the not trunk, right? You just kind of throw air into the trunk and close it.
Pretty much.
But Lance gets in the car and just starts warming it up. Damien and Rufus head on out, get in their cars, and vacate pretty quickly, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're getting up out of there.
Okay. As fucked up as this, I'm gonna make you all give me a perception or intelligence, either drive or streetwise, to get out of that area without looking suspicious.
I'm going to let Lance go ahead and make that roll.
Okay. What's his roll? I don't have his stats. I assume you do right there.
I do. I sent you them at one point.
I do. I could go get them, but I just assumed you have them.
Yeah, I have them right here. LK stats.
I figured out your initiative pool at one point when you were going that way. Okay. So Damien makes, is that drive or streetwise?
That is drive.
Okay. So you pass cops, but you drive in a manner that doesn't make you seem suspicious.
We're going with drive.
Rufus went with streetwise.
Okay. You just basically figure out a different way to go out the back. You drive through a different alleyway and go around, so you're just not going to hopefully encounter any police, and you don't.
There's Lance's roll for intelligence plus drive.
Okay. And you guys, much the same as Damien, you go past like a couple cop cars, and without too much trouble.
Yeah, Lance knows what's up.
Lance is the bomb, man.
Yeah, he's pretty useful. That's what happens when you put like 3 in it.
Yeah, he's like
Mess in other people's rooms, though.
Oh man, I have for retainers. That's a 3-dot retainer. That's true.
So you guys head back to the Days Inn, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. And it'll only be about an hour and a half before dawn. So Damien and Arthur at this point are feeling pretty tired. Rufus is, still spry until the last moment. Do you guys want to do anything in particular when you get back to the hotel?
Not really.
If Lucinde's available, I want to hand her the sword that we took off the Primogen.
She would not be.
Okay. Then I will hold on to it.
Okay. Rufus? Those two will pass out pretty fast.
Yeah, I'll help unload the cars, and then he'll probably wait out until the last possible minutes of safety, kind of staring off in the direction the sun's going to come up.
Okay.
Reflecting on the evening's events.
Okay. At one point, Rook will come back as you're kind of staring off, and he looks pretty tired, so you can tell that he's coming under the gun. And he looks over to you and kind of at least walks over and just trying to make some pleasantries. And he starts out with, takes off his fedora. Oh, that was a night. How was yours?
That's the worst I've had in decades.
He'll kind of give you an intense look.
Yeah.
Really the worst in a couple decades.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in his room, Arthur is literally seeing how many licks it takes to get to the Tootsie Roll Center of a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah.
Why is it the worst? That's a pretty tall order.
I'm tired of the violence. It serves no purpose.
Huh. Well, I can't argue. You're kind of looking out to the area, and he'll just sit down on this bench, this kind of rickety wood bench. That needs a second coat of paint, probably three or 4 years ago. Kind of spreads his arms out and goes, I have been fighting. He kind of looks around a little bit. The spot probably for as long as I have been not breathing, and even a little bit before, apparently, from what my sire said. And All I think I've ever known is violence and betrayal. Everyone kind of scrambling for as much as they can get. And then after I got embraced, it wasn't much different. It was kind of worse. You know, I had hoped that becoming an Archon would... Oh, need to go? Good.
Yeah, I need to jump out for just a sec. Sorry, I know it's
Sure.
bad timing.
No, you're fine. Oh, no. Poor toddlers. They have no respect for Dad's role-playing scenes.
Neither did my cat, it appears.
No, he was all about, like, fucking up the laptop.
And the TV.
And the TV. That's right, you're doing it through a TV, I forgot. The whole debacle. He just doesn't want to leave it alone at this point.
Nope. That's okay. I got the squirt gun on me and ran away.
There you go.
That's why you stopped hearing the thumping.
Oh, fair enough. The gun came out.
Yep.
So you were saying, Dan, ex-Imperial officer turned rogue. Did I got that right?
Yep, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Went to the fringes of space because he saw enough stuff, fighting people. He probably got dishonorably discharged for some stupid thing or another to chase him out to the fringe.
Okay.
And I haven't worked out all the details, but that's what I'm probably going to end up doing.
Hello.
He could be a captain pretty easy and a face man for the group.
What about you, Jeremy?
It's not real hard to put a Wookiee on the fringe during the Empire years. He basically just ran away from a Empire slaving squad and ended up doing work for a crime lord as a enforcer and bounty hunter, and that's how he ended up in Tatooine or wherever we happened to go.
Fair enough. That's easy enough. Okay,
Yep.
So see with Rufus, back in character. Rook empathizing. So I try to figure out where I was at. So I'll take a step back. So I know I've been fighting this Sabbat for a real long time now. Longer than I've been kind of gestures to himself. And you know, when I was breathing, it wasn't any better. Everyone was always fighting over little scraps of power or influence you could get, let alone any kind of cash in your pocket or food in your stomach. You know, I had hoped becoming an Archon would change why I was doing all what I was doing, somehow make it better or feel better or a better payout. If nothing else, I was just glad to not be my sire's lackey for a while. Be someone else's lackey, I guess.
Well, I'm sorry you felt like a lackey.
Don't you feel like a lackey sometimes with these guys?
Not with my sire. You know, fighting the Sabbat, it's a noble purpose, but the killing does take a toll.
Yeah. Did you, when you were breathing, did you kill anyone?
Yeah.
What was the first time you had to do it?
How much history do you know?
Some?
Some. So, the Eastern Front and the war for, the Civil War.
Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with it. He kind of laughs.
Yeah.
As Rook is a black man.
Yeah, I remember pushing across the river into to Washington. We thought we were going to win.
And
And a lot of people died and continued to die for years. We didn't win. We didn't deserve to win.
I see. Well, it seems that we're doomed to repeat the past, and there doesn't seem to be much we can ever do to change that. I'm not that old, though. I'm at least familiar with the Civil War. You were Confederate?
Yeah.
And kind of gestures. Well, I guess we're not all perfect.
No.
But I killed my first man when I was 10. I was helping my older brother and the 49ers. I'm sorry, the 40 Thieves. I was enamored. I wanted to be like him, and I was helping him mug someone, and they just put up a fight, and it was either him or my brother.
Yeah.
So I think I'm with you. I wouldn't mind a little less killing. It's getting a little old.
Yeah.
But I don't really foresee that for me. I think this is going to be how I die.
There is if you hold on, there's hope. We're gonna build something. One day.
You're gonna hold on for hope. Oh man, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna build something.
They've already built something, that's for sure. But I like your attitude.
Well, the fighting and the killing has to mean something. Just gotta find it.
That would be a nice idea if it meant something. Instead of just being about power or vanity, which is what it seems to always be.
Tonight didn't feel very right, I know.
Yeah. A lot of people just didn't deserve it.
Most of them.
But you gotta send a message, and he'll kind of stand up and kind of shrug. I know that routine all too well.
Yeah. I don't buy into that as much.
I guess only time is going to tell if this message is going to be read loud and clear, or it's just going to up the ante. That's what they usually do, actually. No one ever really hears the message. It just makes it worse.
It's the problem with trying to make yourself relevant with fear.
Just gets harder and harder to do it.
Yeah.
Well, try to explain that to some creatures live 1,000 years. That doesn't really work very well.
Yeah. Well,
I am growing tired, more and more worried, and I don't know how you're staying so awake. So I'm going to leave you to your intense brooding. And he kind of puts his fedora back on. But it's nice to actually talk to somebody who's a little sick of this stuff too. I think most people would assume I'm all too into the bloodlust, but really not.
I'm Bruja. I'm used to the misconception.
Right, and I'm a Ventrue, and I have a stereotype about my kind, so...
Yeah.
I guess we have a little bit more in common than I thought. He kind of tips his hat to you and heads inside.
Yeah, Rufus gives him a little, informal salute and lets him head off.
Alright. Okay. Does Arthur or Damien need to do anything before sleeping? Does Arthur need to talk to Lance at all? Or does Damien need to chat with somebody? You guys good?
I think he's good for the night.
And for Arthur, that was just a day of business as usual. He's not bothered really by the deaths since they weren't. They were deaths by combat and battle to him. They weren't personal or.
No. His humanity was already kind of the edge of killing these folk to deserve it, and now that his humanity is a little lower, it's all the easier. And it's Rufus with his high humanity of 7 that's having problems with all this nonsense.
Right.
Yeah, he's got to do something about that one of these days. Fail a conscience roll, you know.
Something. I don't know. You keep hanging on.
Yeah. Well, isn't this supposed to be a game of darkness and depression?
So, right on, gentlemen. I think we'll end it there for this evening. Y'all can have 4 experience points.
Excellent.
Nice.
And shall we shoot for the 20th? Does that work for at least the 3 individuals here? I don't think that's a problem for Carlo.
Sure.
I
don't
think
think it
the
is.
20th is good. I just gotta find a calendar here.
If worst case, would the 27th work for the all too?
Yeah, both of those should work for me.
Yeah,
The
both work for me.
27th is no good for me. I know that.
Okay, so we'll try to shoot for the 20th then.
Yeah.
Okay. And if that doesn't work, I don't think the 13th is going to work out. So we'll try for the 20th, and we'll see what we can get.
Okay.
All right. Well, it was good chatting with y'all and gaming. I think we're good for tonight, unless you guys have anything else in particular.
Oh, I think we're good.
All right.
No, I'm all set.
Right on.